That what a man looks like?
Self-improvement is masturbation. Now self-destruction.
The Manosphere is dying, and I know why. Tyler Durden's words give us insight into the tragic worldview of the Greeks. Greatness requires destruction. A hero cannot achieve greatness which rivals the gods without also destroying himself. Achilles chose glory and honor over a long life as a wealthy king. He chose glory and honor over women, wealth, even over securing his own royal bloodline. Hercules was granted godhood after his death, but he died in agony, throwing himself into his own funeral pyre after being unknowingly poisoned by his wife. And it is no different when we look to historical figures. Alexander the Great's life was cut short, and after his death, his first wife killed his second. Subsequently, she and her son were themselves imprisoned and killed. Alexander's empire, built in just 10 years, fractured. When we think of these men, suddenly taking cold showers in the morning and doing deep breathing seems somewhat trivial, and this is why the Manosphere is failing. Self-improvement, which once served the purpose of inspiring young men to greatness, has become distinctly unheroic, and thus it has lost the hearts of young men. Manosphere gurus promote the pursuit of wealth, women, a long and satiated life of consumption, the very things which Achilles, Hercules, and Alexander forfeited for greatness. The aim of self-improvement has become the pursuit of an end state of peace and material satisfaction. In this way, it has taken on a religious flavor. The end state, heaven, is the attainment of wealth, women, and a kind of self-actualization and inner peace. And in order to reach this paradise, one must ritualistically practice asceticism in the form of cold showers, hitting the gym, waking up at 4 a.m. to go on a run, and so on. Let's take the example of nofap. It was originally invented for attracting women and achieving a heightened state of vitality, but now it is turned into a pseudo-religious ascetic practice in which the practitioner engages in a never-ending struggle to dominate his instincts and maintain a state of moral perfection in his abstinence. In this way, self-improvement has come to resemble Christianity, in which the aim is a state of moral and sometimes ascetic perfection rewarded by an eternity of peace in heaven, or the similar liberal notion of trying to achieve a state of moral perfection through action and proclamation, which will in turn bring about a utopian society of peace and harmony. Heroism is completely counter to these notions. The hero does have a goal, but not a static one. His goal is the greatness achieved in the heroic act itself, in the expenditure of built-up energy, in one great achievement which justifies a lifetime of struggle and suffering. Hercules embarked on his labors to redeem himself after killing his family in a fit of madness. Only his acts of heroism and self-overcoming could redeem his sin and justify such a tragedy. The hero's primary aim is to increase the power of his body and spirit, to increase his vitality in preparation for acts of greatness, for conquest, plundering, defeating monsters, and besting enemies. Women, wealth, and happiness, which he may gain as a consequence of his greatness, is secondary.
How, Dao we won again! This is good, but what is best in life?
The open steppe, fleet horse, falcons at your wrist, and the wind in your hair.
Wrong! Conan, what is best in life?
To crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and to hear the lamentation of their women.
That is good. That is good.
In reaction to the hedonism of modernity, the self-improvement sphere has embraced asceticism. You can see this in the recent wave of gym bros and their "I don't need friends, I'm just gonna grind it out in my dark basement" attitude, which is completely counter to the carefree and optimistic energy of Ziz with his dancing and party lifestyle. Self-improvement wasn't originally about self-care. It was not about asceticism, abstinence, and the conquest of the instincts, or hedonism, aimlessly pursuing pleasure. It was about vitalism, the pursuit of a state of heightened being, of heightened vitality. And this was the original purpose of practices like nofap. Self-improvement as a philosophy was worth something only insofar as it was about self-overcoming, which requires self-destruction. To become what you could be, you must destroy what you are. Heroism is about constant striving towards excellence at the expense of your well-being, at the expense of self-care, at the expense of comfort and superficial happiness. And that should be the essence of self-improvement, to posit goals so lofty and daring that you are either made great in their accomplishment or destroyed in their attempt. And to do this again and again and again until you are transformed. Then one day you will wake up and no longer recognize yourself, for what you once were was destroyed in the service of what you have become. In Twilight of the Idols, Nietzsche puts the essence of the tragic, heroic worldview of the ancient Greeks best. Quote, "The saying of yes to life, including even its most strange and most terrible problems, the will to life, rejoicing over its own inexhaustibleness in the sacrifice of its highest types. This is what I called Dionysian. This is what I divined as the bridge leading to the psychology of the tragic poet. Not in order to escape from terror and pity, not to purify oneself of a dangerous passion by discharging it with vehemence, but to be far beyond terror and pity, and to be the eternal lust of becoming itself, that lust which also involves the lust of destruction."
To support this channel, check the links in the description.